What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ambassadors of the Craft YouTube channel. I know it's weird that we're on fucking YouTube now. Please prepare for profane language because I am an asshole. This is Jason Fullmer, the founder and director of Ambassadors of the Craft. Jason, why don't you introduce yourself and tell the folks a little bit about yourself personally, and then we'll get into the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. As Brian said, my name is Jason Fullmer. I'm about a 28-year veteran of the fire service. Started as a volunteer, worked my way up. Currently the deputy chief in charge of operations in Central California. I love the fire service. I love training, everything about it. That's how Ambassadors of the Craft came to be back in 2016. Saw a need for good quality training in my area. And that's how we got started. And yeah, I'm just fortunate to be where we're at right now with the cadre that we have and all the opportunities that we've had over the past 3 or 4 years to really start getting out there and just passing on the passion and the knowledge. I'm a father of 3 great kids. Just celebrated my 23rd wedding anniversary to my amazing wife, Julie. Besides the fire service, just hanging out with the family, coaching travel baseball. Just enjoying life and hanging out with my family. My daughter leaves at the end of August. She'll be headed to GCU. She got accepted into the nursing program. So that's going to be a shock losing my baby girl, but I'll still have my 2 boys at home for a few more years. So, but that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, the best thing, at least from when I met you, I was just a camera jockey, and now I'm on the cadre, which is fucking terrifying. And I'm actually a fireman now. You looked at me, you're just like, hey, you look like fun. I was like, all right, cool. So the first question that a lot of people ask is, what's your why? Why are you a fireman? Like, of all the things you could have picked in this world to do, why a fireman?
Well, at a young age, I spent more time in a firehouse than I probably did at home. 3rd generation firefighter. My dad passed away from lung cancer, 25 years in the fire service back in Ohio. So I grew up in a firehouse, riding in his Chief's rig, riding on the engines, the truck, whatever it was. It was something that I grew up around it. It's all I really knew. In high school, I was at that point to where, we had moved out to California. At that point, there wasn't a lot of volunteer fire departments and stuff like that in California. And it wasn't until one day during health class, a couple firefighters came in and started talking about this Explorer program that they had. And so at that point, I knew I had to get into it. And once I did, it was just, it felt like the days of riding around with my dad and all his guys. And like I said, I've never looked back.
After 28 years, do you have anything you would change about your career? Because to be honest, that's a long fucking time. That's longer than I've been alive.
I think at the beginning, I was just happy. I was a volunteer. I was waking up, in the middle of the night, jumping in the truck, heading down to the station, grabbing rigs, and I was a welder and a pipe fitter. So I was making good money, and I was still doing what I loved. I think my one regret is I wish I would have went down the career path sooner in my career instead of waiting. But I think that would probably be my biggest regret as far as this. No, it's not a job; it's a career to me, and I think that would be my biggest regret for this career is not diving into the career side sooner.
Okay, so next one is, do you have any advice for new firefighters, especially like firefighters in my generation? Because I have 3.5, 4 months on the job before they come and take one of our classes. Because as you well know, our classes are pretty balls to the wall, especially when it comes to, Colin and you and Gino all being in the same place.
Just be open-minded. I know, you go through a fire academy, they teach you the IFSTA way or the whatever curriculum they're using or their state curriculum. And when you come to our class, it's nothing like what you're going to learn in your Fire 1, your Fire 2, whatever. It's more what we're doing on the streets, real world. When Colin talks about search, or any of us talk about search, we're not on our hands and knees hugging a wall. You're not hanging on to your partner's boot. We're not using pistol grips. We're flowing and moving. We're not penciling anymore. So one of the biggest things I would say is just an open mind and be willing to put in the sets and the reps. You've seen it. You've been to a lot of our classes, and there's always people that just kind of hang in the back, and then there's always a group that is always wanting to jump up and get more sets and get more reps. If you're going to go to one of these classes, take full advantage, 100%. Get in there. The training ground is the place to make the mistakes, not the fire ground. So none of our cadre is going to look down on someone because they make a mistake during one of our classes. And like I said, we have the crawl, walk, run mentality. And a lot of these skills that we teach, it's not something that you're going to pick up in one of our 2-day classes. It's something we're giving you just enough for you to take that back to your department or your station or whatever, and keep practicing, and then hopefully start getting others infected. And then from there, it just grows.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to take a modified version of the first year nozzleman class when you guys came down to Colorado and taught at our academy. And then we took it back and started teaching all the other students in the fire program. And Joe looks at me one day and goes, "Man, they really created a monster with you, didn't they?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of."
And it's always good to get feedback after classes. Guys will run fires and they'll shoot us a message and be like, "Hey, we just had a fire the other night, and the skills that we learned in the class, we used it on the fire ground." And so that's always good to hear.
Oh, dude, even in Georgia, seeing the different levels of experience from the different departments. Like at Mayhem, it's pretty mostly career guys from fairly decently busy departments.
Yeah.
But in Georgia, I mean, this was every level of experience, from 15 years in a busy city department to a month in a rural county department. And I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah. And like I said, don't ever be intimidated to go out and take classes. That's the only way that you're going to broaden your knowledge and broaden your horizons. If you just stay in your comfort zone and just take what you've learned at your local academy or your firefighter 1 or whatever, you got to get out there. You got to network with people. You got to take classes. There's a lot of good training groups out there. And, once you go to 1 or 2, you're going to catch that bug, and then you're going to be flying all over the country taking classes.
Yeah. So one of the big ones, if you can share them, do you have any new projects for AOTC on the horizon that are mulling around in your brain, or that we've all talked about that you're like, I want to do that?
Yeah. So, we've expanded our cadre, and it's absolutely amazing. In California, you have myself, you got Justin and Ryan. Then in Idaho, it seems like that's where they're all coming from. You got Gino, you got Kyle, you got Drew, you got Cody, you got Ricky Williams. Then we got Eddie up in Montana, and then down in Utah, we got Colin and Grayson Pollock. So, and a lot of us are engine guys. And then we're bringing on some truck guys. So we're actually looking at going engine operations and truck company operations, offering classes for both skill sets. We're going to continue to do our first nozzleman class. That's our core class. But we're also going to be bringing in some truck stuff, search, some ventilation. Of course, we've always had our forcible entry skill stations. But yeah, we've got some cool things cooking for March Mayhem 2025. And then if we're lucky enough to get invited back to MAPC, I'd like to take the engine truck show on the road to MAPC in 2025. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We're still working out the details, but yeah, we're expanding and just again looking to bring good quality training, no matter if it's engine stuff or truck stuff.
There's what, 12 of us on the cadre now? 13?
Yeah, we're and it's kind of cool. You know, when we bring new cadre members in, it's, you know, we sit down with the current cadre and we talk about the people that we're looking to bring in, and we're not just bringing anybody in. You know, we're looking for people that have the same mindset that we do, that have the passion and the love for the job, and that we know are going to go out there and support the mission of Ambassadors of the Craft and shed a good light on the fire service and AOTC. So, and
That was one
we're
thing that I was stoked about when I got brought in. I was like, man, you guys brought in a rookie with 3 months on. I'm hanging out with guys that have anywhere from 10 to 25 years on. So, I mean, for me, it's great because I get to learn from you guys.
and that's the thing too, is, you know, you getting exposed early on in your career. And, you know, we've got guys all ranks in our cadre, from you all the way up to, you know, myself. We have firefighters, we have engineers, we've got engine captains, truck captains. So it's really cool, and the way that we all mesh. I think it's great. You know, it's one big family, and, you know, hopefully we're not done adding members to that family. But like I said, we're selective on who we bring into the fold.
Yeah, it's been cool to see the group form because, I mean, being at Mayhem the last couple of times, like I've seen Robert get added, Cody, Kyle.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. I forgot my man.
And Vince too.
Huh?
And Vince too.
Yeah. But I can't not give a shout out to my brother Robert Wynn. Changed the CDF. That guy is doing amazing things for the fire service, and very, very fortunate to have him on our cadre. We patched him in at Mayhem this past year. So, but again, we're just super blessed and fortunate to have the people that we have, and we're just going to keep growing it.
Yeah. So one thing I'm going to tell you is I'm working with Gino because other than being on AOTC, I'm the media director for Mayhem. For those of you that don't know, on getting 2 spots for our class saved for the raffles. Like, obviously, I'll be doing my usual sponsorships of sponsoring as many guys as I can with the resources that I have. But I want to sponsor 2 guys to the AOTC class specifically because just seeing the ideas that have popped up, and I was like, ooh, this could be interesting.
Yeah, and also a huge shout out to Gino. I get a little emotional when I think about it, but after my dad passed, he set up the Chief Ed Fullmer Memorial Scholarship Fund, and so all the money that's raised at the Mayhem raffles goes into the scholarship. So for 2025, again, we'll be doing probably 2 spots sponsored by AOTC into our class through the scholarship fund, and that'll get posted up on our social media pages. I'm sure Brian, in his infinite glory, will come up with something pretty killer. But we usually do like a video contest where people send in videos, and yeah, the winners get our class at March Mayhem. So,
Dude, the best thing, honestly, about AOTC that I've noticed over the years is you guys don't give a shit. Like, you brought me and Max into the fold as 2 camera jockeys. You brought Micah in this last Mayhem. You're grabbing rookie firefighters, volunteers, families, and you're just everybody's getting in on it. Even at MAFC, the training chief that was basically there to babysit us was getting in on it, and it was great.
yeah, no, it's cool. And like I said, we've been very fortunate where we have went and taught, you know, up in Livingston, Montana with Eddie a couple years ago when he got royally screwed over on his conference, and the chief from Livingston stepped up, invited us into his training facility. You know, Mayhem, the guys down in MAFC, you know, they let us come in and they let us do our thing. I'm sure that sometimes they're, you know, biting their nails at some of the stuff we're doing, or how hot we're getting the Connex boxes during our live fire
No comment.
evolutions. But no, it's good to see, you know, chiefs and other, you know, fire departments willing to let us come in and do our thing and provide that good quality training.
Yeah, dude, and I can't wait to have you guys come back to Colorado, because this current class that's coming up, I know a bunch of them because obviously we've been helping them during their classes when we were in driver operator and fire behavior. And that's going to be kind of a culture shock to some of them, to see you guys and see how well you guys interact with even us.
No, yeah, I mean, I think Colin's probably the most intimidating.
It's the mustache.
When he rolls out of his Dodge Charger that has a fire store in the trunk, and he's got the most epic mustache in the fire service, and you know, he's blasting his gangster rap as he pulls up in his Dickies and his DC shoes. But no, we, you know, we're all here. We're, you know, there's no rank, no ego in our cadre, in our classes, and we're just there to, you know, pass it on and you know, leave this job better than we found it.
Yeah. For those of you that want to know more about AOTC, we'll kind of wrap it up so Jason can go cook dinner for his family before his wife throws something at him. For those of you who want to know more about AOTC, we have a website. It's ambassadorsofthecrafttraining.com. I'm still kind of working on adding some stuff because it's still new. I did the website build in, I think, 2 hours when we were at the Airbnb in Georgia. But there's photos on the website. There's photos on my website at 760firephoto.com. You can hit up our Instagram at AOTC_training. And Jason's constantly posting stuff on there of pictures that we've done, videos that we've made. Hopefully there'll be a lot more in the future with Mayhem coming up. And I don't even want to think about it right now because I've had to do so much for it already, recruiting other photographers and getting things done. But it's going to be, I think 2024 and 2025 are going to be a great year for AOTC and how it's growing. Jason, do you have anything you want to end on?
I just want to give a shout out to some of the people that have believed in us and our mission. One being Elkhart Brass, not only for AOTC, but for Mayhem every year, providing us with whatever we needed for nozzles for our classes. And then hang on one second here. You know, Elkhart, been working with them since about 2017, kind of when I first got this kicked off. And Jerry Herbst was kind enough, and like I said, he believed in what I was trying to do. Gave AOTC our own nozzle cache for when we do our hot classes, nozzles, pressure gauges, smoothbore tips, combi tips, you name it. It was all the legacy stuff. Of course, the XD stuff wasn't even thought of back then. Not too long ago, I was doing a hot class, and Elkhart reached Brian from Elkhart reached out to me, and he was like, "Hey man, you're still using that legacy stuff." So he talked to Jerry. Jerry approved it, and just before MAFC, we got our new Elkhart XD nozzle cache, shut off, smooth bores, combi tips, you name it, and they're all custom engraved with our AOTC logo.
So cool. Every time I see it, that is wild.
So just a huge shout out to Elkhart. To me, I mean, we use them in our trainings. We use them exclusively in my department. Got to be one of the best, not the best nozzle in the fire service. There's no gimmicks. They listen to their end users. And then also Key Hose. Key has been very supportive. Steve Gamboa, hooking us up with whatever hose that we need. I've got thousands of feet of 1 3/4 True ID and Sniper and 2.5 just sitting in my garage when we go do our hot classes. Vanguard gloves, exclusive gloves, pretty much of Ambassadors of the Craft. But yeah, and everybody that's, taken our class, thank you. Continue to take our class. Like I said, we're going to have some new class offerings coming out here real soon once we get everything finalized and all the pieces fit into the correct place. But no, we're just super honored and fortunate to be able to, do what we love. And, it makes it a little easier when we have to go away from our family for, a week or whatever to go teach a class. That, it makes it easier when we have motivated students that really want to be there. And yeah, just thanks to everyone.
All right. Well, Jason, thanks for coming on, and we'll do this again soon, hopefully with some of the other guys, and then hopefully one big roundtable with all 12 of us that will probably devolve into a shit show.
Only if you got the Mandalorian helmet for me.
I think actually it's sitting on my chair right next to me. I gotta send that to you. It doesn't fit my head.
Well, if you send me that, I'll replace the Mandalorian helmet with the Euro helmet over my my shoulder.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna stop.